2024 is gonna be my year. Said no one. No one has said that. And I am so glad that we have all kind of come to this understanding that like we're not doing the whole new year, new me thing this year. Like none of us are doing it. We did our little ins and outs and I thought that was really fun. I did a couple of stories for that, but I have not seen anyone making any sweeping, huge statements for this year. And I just pat on the back for us all. Because I don't know about you, but it never works for me. The first 2 weeks of January, I am always like, oh my god, yay, living, I'm doing so well. And then by the third week, I am burnt out. I'm not sticking to any of the resolutions I set, and I feel all of this shame and guilt that I can't even stick to the goals that I set myself. And then February and March is just all tinged with this bitterness that like, I can't do it. I just can't. But I am nothing if not a work in progress, and all I really want is by the end of this year to be able to look back on the year and think, yeah, I made some changes, I did some stuff, I did a good job. So today we are going to be talking about the little changes that I have made and the habits that I've started to build up over the last few months, because I started in November because I was having a bit of a time and I was like, something needs to change, and I didn't want to get sucked into the whole New Year's loop again. But also I feel like this is better to have done because now I can actually tell you the things that were helpful rather than just like a speculative list. Disclaimer though, this is not a video where I'm going to tell you to turn your life upside down and rejig your whole state of being. I can't do that. I'm not qualified to do that. I am not the girl with her life together. I am just the girl that's trying her best. This video, and to be honest, this whole channel is a place where the girls can take it slow. We're figuring out what works for us, and we are not having any hard feelings or holding any grudges with ourselves when things don't work out the way we want them to. For me personally, this year needs to be about nurturing myself and taking care of myself, because hot girls take care of themselves. And look at you, you're hot, you should be taking care of yourself too. So without further ado, here are some small habits that have actually helped. Stay with me here. The first one is going to be boring, and I know you've heard it a million times, but if we talk about it first, then we get it out of the way and then we can move on to all of the fun ones. I promise you. Okay, it's routine. Every single time someone has told me to build a little bit more routine into my life, I have rolled my eyes. I don't want to do it. Spoiler alert, it's actually been really useful. Predictability and structure is actually really good for you. Who knew? Not me. I know it's very florals for spring, groundbreaking, but I needed to hear it, so maybe you do too. And also, having a bit of routine adds a little bit of contrast to your life. If your life is chaos all the time, it's unmanageable. If you've got structure and routine and there are points in your day that you know are going to be the same, then the chaos in the middle, it seems a little bit more manageable. At the very least, it makes me feel more stable and has reduced my anxiety so much. So a morning routine. I am not talking getting up at 5 AM doing gratitude journaling whilst you're on a 5k sunrise run. I'm talking about taking stock of what you've already got. For example, if you have woken up late for work and you need to get the basics done as quickly as possible and get out that door and go, what are the things that you need to get done? For me, it looks like brushing my teeth, washing my face, having a coffee, doing my makeup, getting dressed. Those kind of 5 things, the basics. So habit stacking on top of those like bare bones basics of my morning routine has been really, really helpful for me. And the first thing I want to talk about, water. Hydrate, feel great. Usually the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is that I nip to the toilet. I know that wasn't in my morning routine, but no one puts going to the toilet on their morning routine, but it is. That's the start of my morning routine. So I sleep with this on my bedside, and then I take that to the toilet and then I sip it whilst I'm going to the toilet. Water going in, water going out. It's like an oil change. And I know we're not supposed to compare ourselves to objects, but sometimes I do feel like comparing myself to a car is actually really useful in order to get me and my head to make sure I'm doing the basics. I need an MOT. I need an oil change. I need fuel. I will also probably break down if I do 200,000 miles. On the flip side, an evening routine is also really, really useful. Again, start with the basics. Brushing your teeth, having a shower, doing both of them at the same time is allowed and also really fun. But also, if you are going through a period of the dark and twisties and showering is quite hard for you at the moment, tits, bits and naughty bits. You will feel so much better if you get into bed every night feeling a little bit fresher than you were during the day. However, before you go to bed, what you're going to do is you're going to fill this up again and you're going to put it on your bedside table, because if you wake up at 3 AM and you've got water on the side, you're going to drink it, and that is like a proper good little treat. A 3 AM sip of water. Oh. But also, if you don't end up waking up at 3 AM to drink the water, habit stacked. It's already on your bedside table waiting for you to go into the bathroom tomorrow morning and go for your wee oil change. Another thing that I've added into my evening routine that I think is really useful is setting a 10-minute timer and just cleaning or tidying something. I am such a messy person. Look how tidy this looks. It doesn't look like it that side of the camera, I can tell you that for free. I've got a playlist which has only got a couple of songs in, so it's 10 minutes. So I put my earphones in, I tidy my way through the playlist, and then by the end of it, I've listened to all the good music and I've got a tidy bedroom. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's nice to get into bed and things not be all over the place. Okay, that's enough talking about routine. I'm bored. I'm bored of it. I'm sick of it. I'm not sick of it. It's been really helpful. I need to change the way I think and talk about routine because ooh, it is helpful, but it's really frustratingly helpful, you know what I mean? Phone charging. I take a phone charger with me everywhere. My keys, my purse, a lip gloss and a phone charger. I will always have those things on me because it means you are never out of juice and it means you are never in a pickle because you are out of juice. It is always good to have a phone charger on you, and I think that's like such a good habit to have. And you can pick up a phone charger for so cheap. Don't mess around with a portable charger because you and I both know that you're not going to charge that every day. Keep a phone charger with you because you can find an outlet wherever you go. Worst case scenario, if you're in a pickle, you can go into a pub and you can ask the people behind the bar if you can charge your phone behind the bar, and realistically, most people are nice. Most people will say yes. Keep your phone charged. It's 2024, why are we walking around with dead phones? Anyway, moving on. I've also started charging my phone in my drawer because half asleep me is defying the laws of human behaviour, and I have learned to unconsciously snooze my alarm. I know. Incredible. I hear the alarm go off, I reach my hand out, I press the lock button, I snooze the alarm, and then I sleep through the alarm. This happens so regularly and I have no recollection of myself doing it, but Alex will hear my alarm go off and then he'll come in like 15 minutes later and be like, why are you still asleep, girl? Your alarm's gone off. And I'll be like, no, it didn't. And he'll be like, yeah, it literally did. One day I wish to be the kind of girl that can charge her phone on the other side of the room, but we're taking baby steps. I get separation anxiety. It's not coming further than a meter away from me. I'm too old to technically be an iPad kid, but I think there are some iPad kid qualities that I do have. Putting your phone in your drawer whilst you sleep, it creates like a literal physical barrier. You have to open the drawer, you have to stick your hand in, you have to figure out how to, and then you're awake. Do you know what I mean? It's a good way to do it. And then you can pick up your water and go for a wee. Habit stacking. This is still routine talk, isn't it? Okay, well, I'm moving on to the next one. Journaling. You know that meme which is like, thank you for changing my life, and then it's like, I am literally just that is me with my journal. I started consistently journaling when I started cyclical living, which is like rituals with the new and the full moon, and then journaling has kind of just like seeped its way into my life in the best way possible. I am so grateful for this little outlet that journaling has made for me that is just like for me and my life, and it's no one else's, it's just my little thing. I love it. I could literally talk about journaling for years, but I won't because that's not what this video is about. Let's just keep it going. So bullet journaling, not the cute kind. I wish I could be that girl, but I'm not. I have a notebook that I carry around everywhere with me that literally all of my brain dumping goes into. Everything is in that. That's what I'm calling my bullet journal. I put bullet points in there. It's a bullet journal, okay? With day-to-day planning, a to-do list of like no more than 5 things, and anything else that you can think of that goes on a completely separate page. The 5 things are the things that you have prioritized and they're the things that you're going to get done today, because five is a good number of things to get done in a day. You can tick off all of those and have that like delicious feeling of like completely ticking off a to-do list. And you can always add more to that if you finish your to-do list, but you can't take bits away from a to-do list that you've written out and then you've not completed it, and then you get that really gross, icky, shameful feeling. Like, start small, don't bite off more than you can chew. Maybe even just go 3 things that you want to do with your day. Just 3, do 3, that's so much better. 3, and then anything else goes on another page, and if you get through that, wicked. If not, that goes on your list for tomorrow. To-do lists are your best friend, and I listened to the first 2 chapters of the audiobook of Grace Beverley's Working Hard or Hardly Working, and she talked about ticks, tasks and projects, and oh my god, this was like a light bulb moment in my head and really changed the game for me. And that was like literally in the first 2 chapters, so maybe I should go back and finish that book. Let's not get distracted. It was a really great way for me to learn about like task prioritization by the size of the task, whether it's a tick, which is like a 5-minute thing, a task which is like, oh, that might take an hour, and then a project which is like more meaty things to do. But your ticks are the things that go on your to-do list to begin with, because once they're gone and they're done, you feel like you've got a little bit more momentum, and then you can then break down your tasks into ticks, and then you've got stuff to, it all kind of trickles down. Does that make sense? I don't feel like I've explained that very well. But then bringing it back to journaling, you've got like your emotional, personal side of it. So I like to keep these separate. My personal stuff goes in one journal, and then my day-to-day stuff goes in another journal. But your personal journal can be anything, and that's the beauty of it. Gratitude, daily feelings, doodles, lyrics to a song that you really like at the moment, a little passage from a book that you're reading. What are the first things that came to your mind when you're thinking about today? Like, what are the things that flashed in your mind? Like, write those down. Just get it all out on the page and it will feel good, I promise. The list of prompts that I can offer you for a journal is just, it is unending, but we will stop there. Positive talk. This isn't a, if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. I'm not saying that. It is important to get out the negative feelings, otherwise they just fester like a little bit of dark sludge in your soul. Like, get that out. There's a time and a place for it. The positive talk that I have been practicing recently is that if I think something nice, I say it out loud. If it's to someone else, say it. A compliment is always a good idea. Within reason, obviously, don't be a creep. But you know what? People don't give compliments enough, and sometimes you might give someone their only compliment of the day. So, like, why not? But also, positive talk about yourself. If you think something nice about yourself, force yourself to say it out loud. Force yourself for that thought to leave your mouth and go back into your ear. It sounds silly, and you might feel so ridiculous doing it, but this has been so good for me. My thought process on this is that actions are normally kind of a little bit more important than the things that we think. Actions bring things into existence. If it is in your head and nowhere else, does it really exist? I don't know. So say it out loud. Hear it from your voice with your ears, or if you're like me and you love a good journaling moment, put it on paper so you can see it with your eyes. Take a thought and bring it into a different sense. I don't know how you do it with smell or taste or touch, but I got the hearing and the sight down. If you're journaling, it can literally only be one word. I have a journal at the moment. I got it at the start of last month, and the first page looked so bare and daunting, and I decided that the first page of that journal was just going to be a word that describes myself, and every single time I opened that journal, I was going to put a word in about myself, and then it's like, that first page of the journal is done. Like, I have a plan for it, and every time I go back to it, I can add to it, and it doesn't have to be like a fancy intro page. It is just like a dump page, and it kind of sets the tone for how the rest of my journal is gonna look. Oh my god, speaking of blank page fear, I kind of actually really want to show you my journal. Screw it, let's take a break, I'll show you my journal. It is under this candle, which I guess is a fire hazard, but you win some, you dim some, don't you? Like, if it starts lighting on fire behind me, just let me know. It'll be too late by then. This is the best journal I have ever had. I have doodled all over the front of it, but that's fine. One downfall to this journal is that it did start falling apart, like when I was on like the third page, so I have had to tape a lot of the pages in. However, I think it adds character, and it just looks a little bit more like beaten up and chunky, and I love her, okay? So it is from Risotto Studio. All of the pages are offcuts, so none of them are the same, none of them are blank, and it just takes the blank page fear away from journaling. I don't really want to show you anything personal. Like this page, I've sectioned it because of the colours in here. That's really nice. If I can influence you on anything, it's this journal. This is the coolest idea for a journal. I will definitely buy another one once I've filled this one up. Moving on to the next little habit that has really helped me is giving myself time. Okay, a running theme in this video so far is that it has taken me a long time to learn a lot of things that people already know, but rushing is miserable. Rushing around makes everything so much worse. So if there is a way that you can minimize how much you're rushing about, oh my god, do it. Giving yourself time looks like a whole load of different things, whether it is giving yourself an extra 15 minutes for the journey into work, or an extra hour for a task so you feel like you can really sink your teeth into it. Again, if you're a journaling girly like me, I think writing about rushing is a really good way to go about it. Just kind of pinpoint why you rush so much. Explore that feeling. Explore the horrible feeling of panic when you are in a rush. Being under pressure, running against the clock, working at a pace that isn't sustainable. Like, how does rushing make you feel? describe it in 3 words. What are some times where you do feel rushed? And can you pinpoint any moments in your day where more time would benefit you? Those are my journal prompts for rushing girlies like me. Take it slow, baby girl. We don't need to be rushing. We got so much life. We got so much life. It's okay. And then also another thing within giving yourself time is Pomodoro timers. I discovered Pomodoro timers when I was a uni student, and they genuinely are probably the only reason that my dissertation got submitted. If you don't know what a Pomodoro timer is, it is 25 minutes of working, 5 minutes off, 25 minutes of working, 10 minutes off. I don't know if that's the official, but Pomodoro timers feel like a nice little treat. A nice little treat of time that you have earned because you've worked so hard. It's a good way to refresh, collect yourself, and then get back into it. Not to beat a dead horse, but Pomodoro timers are also a really nice way to habit stack. And for me, this looks like when the timer goes off, I take some deep breaths, I do some stretching, I have a glug of water, and if you do it enough, then like those little pockets of time kind of feel like bookends on the timeline of your day. Does that make sense? Gone is the era of the girl boss. We are not go, go, go anymore. We are taking it slow. We are taking it steady, taking care of ourselves. The next one is not so much a digital detox, but limiting your notifications. A declutter of your phone is very useful. I literally have this planned in my diary to do this once a month. Going through my phone and getting rid of any of the apps that I just don't use, going through settings, getting rid of notifications that I just don't care about, and going into emails and unsubscribing from newsletters. There is nothing worse than getting a notification and being like, oh, what's that? And it's a newsletter from a brand that you just don't care about. Unsubscribe from your newsletters. You don't need it. If you want a discount code, you can Google it if you ever go to buy the thing from the brand. Like you don't need that newsletter. Oh my god, another one is alarms, reminders on my phone, like, and I'm not talking like genuine reminders of like important stuff. I'm talking like more times than I can count I've downloaded like a habit tracker on my phone and been like, drink water, remind me 5 times a day. And I'm the kind of person that gets overwhelmed with notifications at the best of times. Why am I giving myself more things to just clog up my phone? I'm not gonna obey my phone. I'm gonna see the notification telling me to drink water and I'm gonna be like, no, don't tell me what to do. I already have so much guilt on not replying to messages, not staying on top of my notifications, that adding more in is just, it's bonkers, and I don't know why I don't know why I've even tried to do it like that before. Let yourself take a step back from the constant attention grabbers, because you open that little light box, it's just things trying to grab your attention all the time. And I can totally understand the irony, because my job is to literally try and grab people's attention through their phones. But I am in the same boat. Do your best to just have a little digital declutter. Get rid of the fluff. So I think that's all I'm going to talk about for today. I know that I said earlier that like your thoughts don't really exist until there's like an action behind it. I said something like that anyway. But I really feel like the opposite has just happened here. I feel like actually speaking about it, my thoughts, has kind of validated it for me. It's a bit self-indulgent, but I'm looking back at this last like 20 minutes or so and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I've done this. I feel good. If there is anything I want to say when signing off this video, it is that building discipline and making changes to your life is hard and it is scary, and biting off more than you can chew is more often than not going to lead to choking. Take baby steps, trust yourself with the little changes. We've got this. Thanks for chatting with me. I hope this has been helpful. See you later. Love you. Bye.